Yo, what it is, YouTube? It's your boy DC.
Blow that money on strippers and lawyers. I tell her, broke nigga, I ain't got nothing for you. I used to get that in and get that off. Shorty ain't trying to.
And that's the song we're going to be working on today. Make sure you guys double check and remember if you are subscribed or not to the channel, as we're going to keep dropping these gems. One of those gems we're going to drop today is going to be analysis of a tutorial how to get gritty rap vocals similar to EBK Jabo. So I know the artist doesn't exactly sound like EBK Jabo, but that doesn't matter because you won't sound like EBK Jabo. This is all about getting gritty rap vocals. So it reminded me of the song, I think it was 5K by EBK Jabo and everything like that. So and it had a really nice texture that I kind of shared right here with this song. So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Comment if you like the video or not. Comment if you think these techniques work or not. I might also give you guys a free preset if you comment down below. There might be a preset. Make sure you do that so we can see it, hopefully. All right, and let's get to the track right now. Shout out to the artist Sizzle, really dope artist. And the vocal chain that we was working with here is we just wanted to get it to be, we wanted to have that scraggly texture.
I used to blow that money on strippers and lawyers. I tell her, broke nigga, I ain't got nothing for you. I used to.
All right, so naturally his voice is already really has that hard presence to it already out the gate. You feel me? It already has the knuckles. It kind of reminds me of my fist. His voice already has the knuckles to it. So don't be thinking you're gonna sound like this and you're gonna get it to sound like EBK Jabo. Because sometimes it's about the voice, nigga. It's about the person's natural voice that will create that texture. All right. Because I know some people be like that, trying to get that sound, and they have a voice like that, and it's like, come on, dude, come on. All right. So yeah, first thing I do is I make sure I start notching that bitch.
I used to blow that money on strippers and lawyers. I tell her, broke nigga, I ain't got nothing for you. I used to get that in and get that.
So pretty much what that does is it kind of goes in there and it serves as a janitor. It takes the mop, it puts it on the ground. It takes a little bit of pine sol, a little bit of Fabuloso, a little bit of bleach, and it just kind of cleans up the room subtly though, just the floor. There's still other junk and other things that we're gonna have to tidy up, but that was just one of the first things to do before I started, making the vocal aggressive. All right. So then another great thing to use is when you want those hard rap vocals similar to EBK Jabo or any just tough type of gangster rap that sounds modern, is to use a limiter. I would prefer to use L2 or L1, but I also like to use the Good Hertz Faraday limiter, as you get a little bit of that transformer. It's gonna bring some weight.
Blow that money on strippers and lawyers. I tell her, broke nigga, I ain't got nothing for you. I used to get that in and get that off. Shorty ain't trying to fuck something, she gon' walk. I'm a cash cow, moonroof, panorama, nigga crash out. Man down, I got Persian hoes with their ass out. Went to sleep in Miami, woke up in London, roll plutonium, sip a codeine, wink my eye. Yeah, niggas gon' murk you. Send a text, bitch gon' slurp you. Did it my way. Like.
So listen to EBK Jabo 5K, and if you know something about music, you will hear the vocal nuances. It's really like it's making this kind of scraggly type of tone to it. Okay, this ruffled tone to it, kind of almost like a shirt that needs to be ironed. That texture of his voice is something that this song shares it with. All right. So after that, the SSLE that I had used here is I dipped out a little bit of mid range, I dipped out a little bit of lows, and I used a little bit of compression. If you guys want this preset, comment down below EBK, and I will give a download to it, because this helped a lot. But you pay attention to how all of this stuff is subtle. The actual artist's voice already has that unique texture to it.
Blow that money on strippers and lawyers. I tell her, broke nigga, I ain't got nothing for you. I used to get that in and get that off. Shorty ain't trying to fuck something, she gon' walk. I'm a cash cow, moonroof, panorama, nigga crash out. Man down, I got Persian hoes with their ass out. Went to sleep in Miami, woke up in London, roll plutonium, sip a codeine.
And that really low ratio is great when you want to bring up the nuances, right? A higher ratio is more when you want to harden it. because the knee will harden, so the actual edges of the vocal will get harder. Like imagine you're making a pizza in the crust in the dough. Sometimes they have a way of like with the way they tuck the dough in to make the dough soft, and other times they got a way where they make the dough the crust really hard. You know, when you go to a pizza place, they say you want soft crust or hard crust. So imagine that you're an engineer, and the way that you massage the vocal into the compressor will change the shape of the pizza dough vocal. All right, so that's why I use the low ratio, because that's gonna bring out, it's gonna massage the vocal nuances in there with the fast release, because that's what his flow is calling for. All right, this is very important right here, using the decapitator and driving it hard.
Blow that money on strippers and lawyers. I tell her, broke nigga, I ain't got nothing for you. I used to get that in and get that off. Shorty ain't trying to fuck something, she gon' walk. I'm a cash cow, moon roof, panorama, nigga crash out. Man down, I got Persian hoes with their ass out. Went to sleep in Miami, woke up in London, rolled plutonium, sip a
So this is really important, right? Because this is giving flavor. This is adding a little bit of the honey barbecue sauce onto the pork rubs, the pork ribs right now, which is the vocal, right? Because this is just some added flavor that we're essentially parallel blending into. And because we have that extra drive, it's stressing out the vocal, making some of those nuances come back in, giving that tough gangster rap type of texture. And this is great when you really want to let your vocals get a little bit of authority, a little bit of attitude. You want to put your vocals to be that badass kid in the classroom, man, that's always getting suspended. You know, the type of kid that you just want to jump on the last day of school. You want your vocals to have that type of attitude, crashed out, negative growth. You feel me? That's what makes it emotionally believable. You know, the EBK Jabo, everything he's saying feels believable because that vocal mix, the texture and the tone and the saturation, the harmonic density is reinforcing those ideas, you know. So then the Arvox, of course, thickens it up. But I would say something that's important is the C Suite Vox. Because with the C Suite Vox, when you do the decapitator, it's gonna do saturation to the vocal. But a lot of y'all that are recording in bad rooms, it's gonna like, you know, bring out more of the acoustic tone that might not sound good. And that's why I like to use the C Suite Vox too.
blow that money on strippers and lawyers. I tell her, broke nigga, I ain't got nothing for you. I used to get that in and get that off. Shorty ain't trying to fuck something, she gon' walk. I'm a cash cow, moon roof, panorama, nigga crash out. Man down, I got Persian hoes with their ass out. Went to sleep in Miami, woke up in London, rolled plutonium, sip a codeine.
And now for all the people out there, you know, an additional information that you'll need to know is the reverb that you put on it. This is gangster rap, okay? One characteristic of gangster rap is tight reverb.
Blow that money on strippers and lawyers. I tell her, broke nigga, I ain't got nothing for you. I used to get that in and get that off. Shorty ain't
So pay attention how I don't have a long haul that's constantly playing through the whole time. Yeah, the haul comes in for the ad libs. That's cool. But the actual lead vocal itself is very dry. And that's what gives it that sense of being on the streets. Like the concrete is dry. It's a hot summer's day. And then you put your feet on the concrete and you're like, ah, it's hot. You know, that cement block is hot. You know, the cracked roads, the cracked streets, you know, the chapping of the sidewalk. You feel me? The chafing of the sidewalk. This type shit like that. You know, if you was ever in the streets, you ever played outside and you just tripped and you fell on the ground, the asphalt, you know, the way it will fuck up your skin and make it rough. That's the type of texture you need to continually go for from your vocal chain to your effects processing. It's a mentality. So then after that, I use the H3000, and with the H3000, you know, I just like how it gives a little bit of dirty analog flavor.
blow that money on strippers and lawyers. I tell her, broke nigga, I ain't got nothing for you. I used to get that in and get that off. Shorty ain't trying to fuck something, she gon' walk. I'm a
So as you keep making your vocals more forward and forward and forward, sometimes it's actually good to bring in a little bit of that doubler, that stereo widener, just a micro pitch shift or something like that, because the middle is going to be clogged up. There's the kick, there's the bass, there's probably a little bit of the melody, and using a little bit of the stereo spread is good because it just makes the vocal just blend back more into the mix. It makes it feel like it's a little bit more glued into the mix. So that's why this is another great way of doing it. His voice has a lot of low end, it has a lot of power. So that's why I would roll off a little bit more low end and be aggressive with that you know, part of the vocal, you know. So that's another situation too. Pay attention. We had a little bit of a quarter note, right? We had a little quarter note. But You know, we're automating. You know, sometimes you got to do this stuff like automation, you know?
I told them I got this shit, nigga. They step back for a minute. I'ma show you how I crash out, nigga. I used to blow that.
So a little bit of Echo Boy, you know, I'm using the cheap Echo because when you're from the hood, you buy cheap dollar shirts, you buy cheap, you know, things, you know, you buy cheap shoes, you know, because you poor, you buy Shaqs, you can't afford Jordans, so that's why I use cheap tape. Because emotionally, I done been there before, and that's why I be trying to tell some people, you know, if you ain't emotionally been there, even though you have all the information, it's still not gonna sound good because you can't recreate that image in your head of the hood into the fucking mix, bruh. So then after that, I used the lo-fi tape to roll off the top end.
I told them I got this shit, nigga. They step back for a minute.
A little bit of like panning and automation.
Man down, I got Persian hoes with their ass out. Went to sleep in Miami, woke up in London, roll plutonium, sip. I'm on that Lucci, flip a Latucci, nigga, I'm the man in the city. I ain't studying no bitch, I can sell plotting through a soul. Sizzle came about the trenches, little bitch. I don't fall for the pick and roll. Ball hard like the playoffs. Corner boys with no day off. Jump out, jump out. Lot of foreigners at the crack house. Nigga, cash out, cash out.
And this is also a great move too. Like if you have background vocals, you have ad libs, you have things that are not cutting through. Maybe you want to throw a little bit of a specter on them that will give them harmonic density to help them cut out just as much as the lead vocal without feeling like a frightened little brother or a little sister that, you know, is kind of like scared to present itself to the audience, you know. So it's, you know, this is something that you would do too, is just by using that specter and kind of rolling around that frequency range. And sometimes if you want to give more body to, you'd go a little bit lower in comparison. All right. So yeah, let's look at the ends too before we get out of here.
Rama, nigga, crash out, man down. I got Persian hoes with their ass out. Went to sleep in Miami, woke up in London, roll plutonium, sip a codeine, wink my eye. Yeah, niggas gon' murk you. Send a text, bitch gon' slurp you. Did it my way, like I was Usher.
So using an expander on the background vocals, even the ad libs, is not on gate. It's on expander, which means it's adding volume. Whoa, yeah, whoa. On the ad libs, now that's adding more impact. That's adding more energy. You know, more street grittiness. You know, using something like a room. Look, I'm using a room reverb. Look how tight it is. You know, that's a consistent theme that you have to get. You know, to get those really dope pro rap vocals like that. You know what I mean? Mentality. All right, so I just want to say thanks a lot for being a great part of my YouTube family. Don't forget down below, double check and remember, are you subscribed to the channel? You don't want to miss out on these gems. And next time, don't forget to check the links down below today. Go ahead and grab a plugin preset, a mastering preset, book a mix, support the channel, join the channel right next to the subscribe button. Do whatever the hell you want. But guess what? We're going to still be here giving out these gems. Appreciate y'all now, YouTube gang. See you next time.